let's jump in. Michael, you threw up the VAR sign a couple different times here. There's some definite games where this was pretty controversial. What is the most egregious one that you want to talk about?
Luton Town, for sure. Well, okay. I mean, it depends because you're in the Man City game, it was also egregious, but it didn't matter because it was 5-1 in the end. The Luton Town one, I mean, that's a point for them. In the 90th minute, 150% a handball on James Ward-Prowse.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw it too. I know, Dylan, you were, because I think we were texting during it, but full extension with the left arm going up to try to block out or head the ball. It just grazes off it. It's called all the time in big games when we're watching, and for some reason just was not called. So tough for Luton Town, especially at home. They played tough. I'm not going to lie. Still going to be the worst team in the league, I think, but they played tough. Any other thoughts from anyone else?
They got robbed, but I'm not sad about it.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
Can I just say great full podcast call on the Sheffield United Everton tie. Every single one of us called a draw.
Yeah. I gave myself flowers there, but we all had a tie, had a draw there. Dylan.
I don't know about you guys, but watching that game at the end with Pickford's save, I was sitting there when that corner went out and there was 2 minutes over what extra time should have been. I was sitting there going, Sheffield United's about to win this game because this is the most Everton thing to ever happen to Everton. Yeah. And then as it happened, I was like, I can't believe that it didn't become an Everton thing. But I don't know. That game could have... Sheffield probably should have won that game.
Yeah. You guys were ahead of me. And I think Nick texted the group and was like, oh my God, Pickford. And I was like, what? It's tied. They're about to blow the whistle. And then I saw it and I was like, oh, Jesus. Because again, that was the biggest leg of the parlay that I had going that needed to come down. So big win for a draw there. Are we worried about Brentford? Let me open that up real quick.
No. Well, we're not worried about them offensively.
Yeah.
Worried as in relegation battle worried, or just they're not going to be...
Yeah.
No. Then no.
There's different varyings of worried. Are we impressed by Bournemouth?
I was thinking about this. I would, if I'm Bournemouth, think about where West Ham is right now. You got a 1-1 draw with them. Then you played Liverpool. Then you played Spurs. Especially Spurs have looked outrageous. You beat Swansea City in the cup, and then you got a tie with Brentford, which you almost could have won if not a 90-minute winner. I think just relax. Like, if you're worried about Bournemouth, just relax until you start to play Luton, Sheffield, Everton, maybe Wolves. Sorry, Dylan. You're gonna get some good performances. You're gonna get some good points.
And Captain America's coming in the squad too.
Yeah.
There you go.
Still, I'm excited for that one. I really want that jersey too. I'm gonna spend a lot of money. This is gonna suck. Burnley 5 or Tottenham 5, Burnley 2. We've already said it. We're all pretty impressed with Tottenham at this point. Correct?
Yeah, they're fun to watch.
I do think I know you probably also watched this, John, but when you go up in the 4th minute at home to just be like so vulnerable to give up 5 goals, even if it is against a really good Spurs side, I think they need to like start thinking about some different tactics over there at Burnley.
Scored too early. Happens all the time.
I think
I guess.
I think it's a really easy tactic. I just think Vincent Kompany puts a kit back on,
Just play center back.
Player coach.
Yeah.
Player coach.
I don't know. I think we were robbed to find out how good Burnley actually is because of the Luton Town game getting postponed. That would have been our barometer based off of them playing 3 tough teams to start to really not know what Burnley is.
I think that's a very democratic way to look at Burnley for sure. I'm right there with you. One thing that is becoming apparent, Nick, your Tottenham friend needs to just, not be a dickhead this year then, right? Like, he's getting to watch good soccer.
Yeah, I'm actually really, really loving this because him and I had a really deep conversation about this the other day. this juxtaposes the conversation from about a month ago where he was in the fandom version of jumping off the bridge suicidal, and then now he's like starting to make comments in our group chat, and he's sending me more and more soccer stuff on Instagram. I'm like, oh my god, he's believing again. I can't wait till this crushes him again later. I'm actually really excited for the build up to the letdown. Yeah, I'm just really excited for this to just come crashing down. So I'm just gonna let him have it. I'm gonna let him, say what he wants, and then Spurs are gonna Spurs. Spurs are gonna Man United. And maybe we'll change that verbiage this year. Who knows?
We shall see. City 5-1. This is the one thing I'll say. Nick, I spent a good part of a day and a half looking at our fantasy teams, trying to figure out if there's any way I could trade for Julian Alvarez. And I just know it's not happening now. He's scoring too consistently, and I know how good Haaland is. I love watching Julian Alvarez. That's my only thought here. Michael, you want to go into VAR?
I mean, I just don't know what. I actually just did see the tweet from Premier League where they went mic'd up on 6 calls, controversial calls of the first 3 weeks or whatever, or first 4 weeks. I haven't got to see that yet. I'm really interested to see what calls they are, and what they say. This one is, it's like textbook. It's so obvious that it's interference, that he's offsides. I just don't know what to say anymore. I mean, it doesn't matter because it was end up being 5-1, but it's just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I have a receipt I'd like to read from John, and this is, sorry, John, you need to stop being a City fan, acting like one. Is this segment that I'm making up right now of, as the game was 1-1 and there was still probably 70 minutes left in the game. If anyone is thinking of it, avoid any type of second half City bet. This is the worst I've seen them play in a long time. They then proceeded to win 5-1. Sorry, I just need the world to know that.
I think I'm providing a service though. Anytime I say something like that, you should do the opposite of what I say. I think
they also scored within 20 seconds of you sending that text.
Very true. Very true.
And then you said it's going to get overturned, and then you said, "Oh shit, no, it didn't." Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, I'd like to. I want to piggyback on what Dylan said. That I kind of want to make. I don't know if this is a bold prediction. Maybe it's just a bold statement. So I'll know where this falls, Michael, for the list. But is Erling Haaland just boring now?
Well, City's always been boring.
He is boring, but it's like being so good, and I won't even say that good. It's like being that productive at your job that it's just everybody else is just yeah, there's no point. What are we gonna do?
Look, come for the Haaland hat trick, stay for the Julian Alvarez wonder goals. That's how I'm looking at it. It's incredible. And now Doku played. I think this is kind of impressive. I know that they're on cruise control without Pep, but for them to play a guy who has never practiced with Pep, because Pep's in Barcelona right now, for them to throw him at the right wing, it's kind of crazy.
Is Jack Grealish just not going to play?
No, he will.
Because he
played a ton.
Well, but he wasn't on the bench, right?
Look, I always like to move on from this City thing. If you want my real thoughts about all this stuff, I think that the new tactic is going to be Foden, Doku, Grealish, and Bernardo running essentially like a U formation with 3 people and then having 2 strikers up top. And what's going to happen now is it's just...
That was 4 people.
I think one subbed out, and they're going to rotate.
One subbed out. Yeah.
Okay, so not 3 people then.
I'm with Michael on this one. He was right.
Whatever. Anyway, 3 people. There's going to be Grealish as right now, in this case, Foden played. I mean, now I've lost my train of thought. Anyway, we're going to be dribbling a lot. There's going to be a lot of changing positions. Doku played on the right wing and switched over to the left wing within 20 minutes. I think there's just going to be a lot of forward possession within the midfield to try to set up lanes for Alvarez and Haaland, and I think that's how they're going to play it. And then, again, 3 center backs, 2 CDMs essentially, and I think that's the formation now. So It's going to be fun.
Word.
You guys asked for it. Anyway, Palace, Wolves, Dylan. Tough one.
We scored twice. So that was cool. It's just so aggravating for the fact that if you watch the game, we were controlling the game the entire first half. And then our defense, like, we give up 3 different counter opportunities. So, like, I don't know. It's just going to be one of those years that if we can continue to score 2 goals every game, I think eventually we'll get enough wins to stay up. So we're gonna stay positive right now. We scored 2 goals. You can't win everything on the road.
Palace, a tough team if you're playing the way you were playing because they are a counter team, I think, with who they got on the wings and whatnot and on the edge. Let's go positive since you want to go positive. Gary O'Neill, more time with these players. He's going to figure this out. It looks like he's already smart. Like, we saw him with Bournemouth last year, but, like, there's at least a semblance of an idea.
Yeah, I think for once the opposite is, and I know this is you guys are gonna laugh when I say that we're a team that can't score. Our defense is the problem. It's not we'll eventually hopefully figure out how to score, and also we cross again to people who are 5'7" when we have someone who's 6'10" who might need to come off the bench when that's the game plan. But I don't know. Our defense is a liability at the moment. So unless we get that fixed, we're kind of screwed.
Scale 1 to 10, Podence leaving again. I saw that 2 days ago. Is that okay?
Yeah, he was already. We sent him down to the U21s because he was being bratty. Also,
love it.
He
All
hasn't
right,
been
perfect.
with the team for about 2 weeks.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Michael, 3-0 win. Is Liverpool back?
First of all, the only game I've ever been pissed that we didn't give up a goal.
Same. Same,
would've
brother.
been- I only have 3 comments, really. Well, 4, I guess. No, that was one of them, so 3 more. Szoboszlai is going to be just a problem. He's going to be so good. Can't wait for that. His goal was pretty nasty. To the point of, like, giving up goals, you throw... Any Liverpool fan would agree with me, I would say. You throw Joe Gomez and Joel Matip, center-back partnership, and they look like fucking prime Maldini, like, regens. They were unreal. They played... I mean, I think Villa played, like, pretty poorly, too, but they were unbelievably good. It sucked because I just needed them to give up 1 goal. And then I think that it's always so interesting when, like, you're in the loop of, like, what people are saying about a player or, like, what you hear from the club or whatever. And, like, there was so much talk about how, like, Klopp isn't happy with Nunez because, like, he doesn't know English and, like, he's not understanding, like, the tactics very well. And I kind of get it because, like, sometimes he does stuff that you're just kind of like, you don't need to be doing that. Like, you don't need to slide to try to get the ball from a guy. Like, it's a ton of effort, ton of energy and stuff like that. I think sheerly because I think he scares defenders and he just runs constantly. You have to get a little bit of, like, okay, I don't want you to do that. Like, please, like, just stick to what we're doing. You have to take some of that with, like, the immense positives that he brings because he didn't score a goal, got the assist for Salah, and then hit the post twice, or hit the crossbar once and the post once on the Matty Cash own goal. He was fucking everywhere. Like, it was amazing to watch. But then there were times where I watch him, I'm like, yeah, I could see why that would piss Klopp off. Like, why he's like, I don't need you running the guy down in the corner flag when no one is helping you.
This is going to be a big time pause comment, but I think he's like a stallion that still just isn't broken yet. Pause.
I think
anyway,
if he gets like 5% better or like more consistent at finishing, it will be mayhem.
Yeah, it'll be a problem. With that said, I got 2 questions for you. 1, who's your front 3?
I mean, it's for sure gonna like go with form, but right now it's not close. It's Diaz, Nunez, and Salah.
And then, do you know one interesting fact about
he hasn't given up a goal since he's been playing. No, I don't. I don't know
Yeah.
anything about him.
Saw that name and I was like, I don't know this guy.